Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful day again here in Port Coquitlam. I'm coming to you from Canada. I just wanted to make that clear because I know last week I posted my paper pumpkin video and lots of you contacted me about the extra paper pumpkin kit that I have. I am actually in Canada, so I do still have that paper pumpkin kit if any Canadians are interested in contacting me about that. I was also able to just yesterday to order some paper pumpkin refills, so I am going to be offering a May Hugs from Shelley paper pumpkin class. I'm actually not setting a date for it. I'm just looking for a hostess. So if you're interested and you live in the Lower Mainland here in British Columbia and would like to have a paper pumpkin class, give me a call and or contact me through Messenger, and we can make those arrangements. Yeah, so that is just a brief little thing getting started today. I might actually have to start putting like a little Canada symbol or something on my logo. But happy to have people from all around the world watching, and that's great. So we're going to get started today with a lemon zest card. So you may have noticed over the last few weeks I've been focusing on stamp sets and punches that are retiring. Today is no different. We have 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks left now until the new catalog, which means less than 2 weeks to order anything from the current catalog that you may not have grabbed yet. So this was a super fun, sassy little set. I had to get it. If life gives you lemons, chuck them right back. I'm like, yes, absolutely. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is a little card with this. Now, life has been crazy around here. Just lots going on with school, family, and just trying to get out and enjoy our great weather. So I actually have not had time to design like my own card for you today. So the card I'm creating is a case from another demonstrator called Jean Addis. So thank you very much, Jean, for the idea. I have changed it up just a little bit. But yeah, that's where I got the main idea. So we're going to be working with my 2 favorite colors for this stamp set, which is the Granny Apple Green and Pineapple Punch, which is one of our in colors. So these 2 colors I just absolutely adore with the little lemon or lime, whatever you want to call it. Now, I am going to point out here that the paper I'm using, so my card base is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and then scored at 4 1/4. So I've cut my Pineapple Punch to be 5.5 by 2 inches, but my Granny Apple Green I actually have cut slightly larger than 5.5 because we're going to emboss it today, and the particular embossing folder that we're going to use, which is the Petal Burst. Let me just grab that. Here we go. So when we use the Petal Burst, it's actually quite a deep, detailed embossing folder, even though it's not one of the impressions ones. And I do find that it shrinks up your paper just a little bit. Okay, so I've cut this slightly larger than 5.5 in length, and then slightly less than 2 inches here so that it will fit in layered nicely. So I'm just going to go emboss that quickly, and I'll be right back. All right, there we go. So I am sad to say that this embossing folder is also one that is going to be retiring. I have used this so often on so many cards. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do without it. I'll probably still use it, to be honest, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do without it in terms of showing new product and videos for you guys. So now, as you can see, oh, actually this one didn't shrink up quite as much. That's interesting. Must be the way I had the grain before. But still, better to cut that piece for embossing a little bit larger, and then we can adhere this and trim it down. So anytime I'm doing something with embossing, I do like to use tear and tape. I just find that it has a bit of a better hold than if you're using like snail or something. Liquid glue works really well as well, but you have to be a little bit more patient for that drying component. All right, so here we go. Put this tear and tape down, and this one I am going to do just a little bit in because I am going to trim a bit. And we'll pull the backing off of this. Yeah, so as we get closer to the end of this current catalog and the beginning of our new catalog, I'm trying really, really hard to not inundate you with new catty stuff that you're not going to be able to buy for 2 weeks, because that's just so frustrating. It's hard enough to have to wait after you've ordered it. And really wanting to make sure that people don't miss out on great items that are in our current catalog, because there really are so many fabulous, fabulous stamp sets and punches that are retiring. And so here we go. I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm just going to take my snips, wherever they may be. Interesting. I just taught a class on the weekend, and so they're probably still packed up from that. I haven't had any time to even unpack from that class. There we go. So just snip the edge of that, and this is ready to put down onto our card base, which is just a piece of thick white cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and then scored at 4 1/4. But before I glue this down, I'm actually going to stamp my sentiment on here. So I'm going to grab one of my sentiments, and so I think I'm actually going to do the "If life gives you lemons, chuck them right back." And I'm going to put that onto a block. Now you'll see that mine are a little bit tricky to get out of the case. The reason for that is because I've actually put a little bit of cling on the back of them, because I found that the stamps as they were did not stick very well to the blocks. I know lots of people have had that experience where as soon as you've put the image on the back, it's not sticking very well. And like, here's an example of that. This is one of my lemon slices that has the sticker on it, and like, so it's holding fairly well. Actually, that was not too bad, but I do find that over time they come off quite easily. So I actually left this one unclung so I can show you what I do. I actually take the excess cling that I get from our new cling stamp sets, and I save this outer border so that I can then come along and cut it up. And I just take a piece that's slightly smaller than whatever image I'm working with. I cut that up. It's always nice to make sure that you leave like a little bit to be able to pull back on. And I stick that onto the backs of my stamps and pull off. And now you can also still do the washi tape trick that I showed last week, so that this isn't so hard to pull off. Grab a little piece of washi tape, make sure it gets to a spot where you do have the cling, and voila, this one is now ready to go and put on there. And now it's going to be easy to take off because we have that little piece of washi tape for peeling it back. Okay, but you can see how much better that's stuck to the stamp. All right, so that's what I do with all of my old stamps that don't have the cling backing on them, is I just take a little piece of cling and put it right onto them. That way I can still use the stickers that they provide, but I'm not having stamps fall off all the time. All right, so with that little tip shown, I am going to come in here and stamp my words. So I would like that to be about there, and I'd like this to be centered. That's inked up nicely. All right. So there we have it. Chuck them right back. All right. So now with that done, I can put this down, and I'm going to use my all-time favorite liquid glue. All right, here we go. A little quick layer with that. And put that on my card front. All right, now I've talked about this a lot. I do really like the liquid glue because it allows me a little bit more flexibility with wiggling things around and getting them lined up. So there we have that. So there's our card front started. I'm going to set that to the side now, and I'm actually going to grab my Stamparatus, And as you can see here, I've already got my template kind of punched out. So this I actually keep with my stamp set. And the reason for that is because then I can make sure, oh, let's just pull this magnet off. The reason I do that is because then I can make sure to have everything lined up perfectly so that I can use my punch with this. So I'm going to grab my lemon, and this one goes in this direction. So you actually put it the way it's going to stamp, and I can actually wiggle this around and feel it inside the crevice. So there we go. Now you can see how close it gets to where the leaves are. So I'm actually going to put this onto one of the plates, and then I'm going to grab a second plate for my leaves so that we don't have it having them overlap and get too close. And that way it's also way easier for inking them up, because of course my lemon is going to be in yellow, in pineapple punch, and my leaves are going to be in granny apple green. So go in and put that one in. And I can't remember if these leaves get too close or not. Nope, they're fine. All right, so making sure to keep your template in the corner. All right, try not to touch where I've put the sticky stuff, because it does get a bit. Okay, and now those two go nicely together. Put that down. So now I've got that all lined up, and it's going to work really well with my punch. So that goes back into my stamp case. I'm now going to grab a piece of cardstock to do my stamping on, and I'm going to grab my inks and get going. So here we have our pineapple punch. To create that very bright, beautiful lemon. There we go. And put that away. And I'll grab my granny apple green for my leaves. There we go. All right, and now I'll close that up, and it doesn't matter that I got that little smudge on the inside, because this is all going to get punched out. So now I will grab my punch, and let's see. Okay, so this piece of paper I made just a little bigger than I needed to, so it's not going to slide into my punch nicely. So I'm just going to trim off the end. I was just kind of grabbing scraps off my desk, so that happens sometimes. All right, so try that again with my punch. There we go, and now that fits perfectly. So I can come in here, line this up. So I may have been a little too close with those leaves, but that's okay. There we go. So sometimes when I'm not, being a little lazy, I will actually put those leaves on two separate platforms as well. I actually have 4 platforms for my Stamparatus. So there we go. We'll collect up our lemon and our leaves. And I'll pull this one off so I can move this out of the way so that we can keep making our card. All right, let's bring back our card base, if I can see where I put it. Oh, here it is, hiding under my stamps on the side. So I'm going to bring this back. Oh, and I'm going to bring back that extra paper so that I can stamp the other lemon that I have. So I'm going to grab my pineapple punch again. Ink that one up. Stamp that there on the leftover scraps that I have here. And now this one I am going to punch out, and this is a very old punch. It's the 1 3/4 punch. Stampin' Up! Currently sells this punch, but on June 3rd, it'll be the last day to get the 1 3/4, the 1 1/4, and the 3/4 circle punches. We'll be left with, let's see, a 2 1/2, a 2, a 1 1/2, a 1, but they're getting rid of all of those quarters. And this 1 3/4 punch is the perfect punch for punching out that lemon wedge. So sure glad that I have mine, even if it is a very, very old punch. I'm glad that I have a 1 3/4 inch punch so that I can do that really nice and easily. So if you do not have all of the circles, you may want to go on and just double check the retiring list, and I can tell you for sure it's those 3 punches, 1 3/4, 1 1/4, and 3/4 that are going, and you're going to want to grab those before they're gone. All right, next job is with our lemon. I'm going to stamp the first half of our sentiment. So let me just clean this one up so I can put our other sentiment on this block. All right. Oh. There we go. And if life gives you lemons. Grab my black, and I'm going to stamp that right onto my lemon. All right, so if life gives you lemons. Perfect. Now, the reason I stamp it first is because now I can line up my lemon when I glue it onto my card, so that the words are straight. I don't know why, but it really bothers me if they were like a little bit crooked or something. I really would like to have them straight, so I want to be able to put that down in that way. So I'm going to flip this over now and grab some some glue dots, mini glue dots, and use those to put my leaves on the back of my lemon. And let's see, do it like this. Oh, wow, I just put that on the wrong side of my leaf. I want that actually to go onto the painted side, the inked side, sorry, there we go. Same with that one, put that on the inked side and line that up. So we'll go like that. So those are sticking up just a little bit across the top. Awesome. And now we're going to use some dimensionals. Got some somewhere. Oh my goodness, so much stuff got packed up for my class on the weekend. Here we go. There. So I'm going to put a mini dimensional on each leaf, and one at the base of my lemon, and 2 more kind of just randomly on my lemon. I'm also going to put some on the back of my lemon wedge. There we go, just do 3 around the sides. And now when I put this down, I'm going to just kind of line it up before I do it. So that looks good to me. There we go. Oops, take those off. There you have it. All right, that one's there. So just trying to think what else needed to tell you this week. Yeah, not a lot is going on right now. I think everybody's just kind of gearing up for the end of this catalog. I still haven't opened that box of mine with all of my new product, which is kind of amazing, but life has just been that full of fun stuff going on. I might have gotten to it the other week, but with Paper Pumpkin arriving, I had to delve into that first, and it was so beautiful. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to grab some Gingham Gala self-adhesive sequins and pop these on. And these are actually in, oh, I'm not sure what green this is actually. I thought this was Lemon Lime Twist, but it must not be because they're actually keeping these in the new catalog. So I'm not really sure actually. But I do know that they go beautifully with the Granny Apple Green that I've got going on here. And so pop those on there. And that is our card. So just a fun little one. You know, I've got some friends who are going through some pretty tough stuff right now. And just a little chin up. Keep going. So yeah, there's a fun little card for you using pretty much all retired product except for these little sequins here. And so I'll post a link to my site where you can see how to grab these stamps for yourself if you're here in Canada. And so yeah, I hope you don't miss out on anything. You can always use my hostess code to get a few little extra goodies as well with any orders over $60. And I will see you next Wednesday with our final retiring stamp set video before the new catalog goes live. I'm going to be focusing on the bubble over stamp set and kind of gearing up with some nice Father's Day stuff there. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.